Alright guys, just sitting here today looking online at some tech stuff, because you know me, right? Can't help myself. And I'm just wondering, we are filming on my S20 Samsung phone. I've had this for 3 years now. And my wife just bought an iPhone 14 Pro. And I'm like, has the time come for Gary to actually upgrade? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to beg my wife, can I borrow your phone for a couple hours? And we'll go out and film on it. And we'll film a little bit with this and we'll just kind of compare them. I'm thinking it's got to be a night and day difference by now. Guys, it's been 3 years. This phone is pretty good. It does HDR, so the high dynamic range video and all that stuff. And you guys know what it looks like. You've seen the videos. The stabilization is pretty good. But I think the new phones, it's much better. So, hey, just an idea to get out, go for a hike. And I hear good things. I'm not an iPhone guy. I'm really not, guys. I hate Apple. We've been down that road. But on my recent trip to the States with the girls, they've all got Apple iPhones. I could not communicate with my own family while in the States because we're on a shared plan for, our States travel, our time and whatever. My phone would not communicate with their phone half the time. I couldn't send them messages, and I feel like I'm kind of being forced into getting a new Apple phone, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm going to mesh with my girls here and my lady wife, I'm going to have to get on the Apple train. And I thought, if I have to do that, then maybe if the video and the photo quality is good enough, I think there's a 48 megapixel camera on the new iPhone 14s. Maybe that would be enough to sway Gary towards using an Apple phone? I don't know. Let's borrow the wife's phone, if she'll let me, and test this out. I'm a little bit worried, guys. I just got off the phone with my wife. She's on her way home now. It's bright, it's sunny. I said I would love to go out and may I please borrow your phone? She was excited to lend me her phone and excited at the idea of me switching to Apple, and that concerns me. I don't know why she's so gung-ho to get me off an Android phone. I've been on Android for 10 years. I think this is, you know what this is, guys? Apple is not just a corporate conglomerate who is stealing everybody's money. I think it's a cult. There's the cult of Apple. And my wife is trying to get me enrolled in the cult. This is what's happening. We're still going to borrow her phone. She said I could. And we're going to do this test. So let's go do it. Okay, so we've got the wife's phone. And I don't know, it looks pretty jiggly. Just walking here. Okay, this is future editing Gary interjecting. When I was shooting video on the iPhone, the screen totally was shaky and jittery. So that's what I thought we were going to end up with. But however, the files on the computer look very smooth and the stabilization is very good. And I'm still going to dock Apple another 40 points for that and stick with the Samsung. Thanks. This is supposed to have some groundbreaking video technology in it, but I'm seeing lots of jiggles on this screen. It is now afternoon. Things are melting. And the trail is we keep breaking through, so it's a little jiggly. Definitely. This is not going to be a scientific test, guys, in any way, shape, or form. I wanted to test, and Apple is dinging in the background as we're getting messages from somebody. It better not be the wife's boyfriend again. My phone, you don't hear the dinging. When I'm actually recording, there's no dinging noises. There's something about the shadow quality here that looks different. I'm just looking at the building versus my hand. I don't know. I want to test the photo quality as well. I don't know how we're going to do that. Okay, so what we'll do right now, I'm telling you, this looks jiggly. We'll grab the Samsung and I will walk along the same little stretch here and we'll see how jiggly it looks. Okay, here's the S20. And it just looks smoother to me. And this phone is 3 years old. So what's going on? Yes, okay, the iPhone was much wider. The field of view was much wider. And I would like that, I think. But the video quality, it's not bad. I think I've already made up my mind, guys. After 20 seconds of walking with that other phone, I'm like, I didn't like what I saw. And it's an Apple. I freaking hate Apple. I'm so biased against Apple. I don't think this is going to happen. All right, we're going to switch back to the other phone. I just wanted to get a little bit of walking in here. I don't know. Is it going to look different on the computer? I don't know. Okay, so I mean, I can really see this screen in the bright sunlight here, so that's a bonus for the Apple. This phone is much smaller than my phone, so I think I would actually have to go for the Apple 14 Pro Max, which has the same size screen as my S20, and I think they run about $1,400 Canadian. So I don't know that this is even in the realm of me. Seriously, I don't think I can consider a $1,400 phone upgrade when this looks so jiggly. We're gonna switch. I have no idea how to switch to the other, the back camera on the fly here. I'm gonna try something. Nope. Nope. I think I have to stop it and then physically switch it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this Apple phone. Let's put it that way. Hold on. Okay, so we have got it switched here now. And with the Samsung, I can switch from the front and rear cameras just by swiping my finger while recording. And you can't do that with the Apple phone here, unless there's some secret way that you guys know about that I don't know. I don't know anything about this phone. But yeah, it definitely looks like it's got jitters to it. So there would be some other important things that I would have to test, and that is how close can we focus with the rear camera, because when I do metal detecting videos, right, I'm holding stuff in my hand and the camera literally is a couple inches away when I'm showing you guys coins and things like that. Can we do that with the Apple iPhone? I don't know. Let's just let's try it and see how close it'll focus. Okay, let's just see how close. Come on. No. Guys, I'm 4 inches away from the phone. Maybe 5 inches away, and it will focus here. Look at the pattern. It will focus. But as soon as I go any closer than 5 inches, it's not in focus. Now we can zoom in 2 times. We could kind of cheat, I guess, by doing that, which is what I used to have to do with the S20 here, was cheat. And you will notice that when you cheat by zooming in like that, that things are over pixelated, sharpened. You can see it when you put it on a big screen. Okay, so here we are on the Samsung. How close can we focus? We're getting right down there. I mean, that looks really good. I'm standing in the shadows now, and you can really still see me. So the processing that's going on here, that is definitely an improvement. I'll pull out the Samsung and show you guys when we go from sunshine, which is kind of fading here, sunshine, and then into those shadows. The dynamic range that's happening here, the processing, it's still really good. Like, you can still see me really well. I don't think it's going to be that good on the Samsung. Okay, here we are, Samsung full sun, heading for the shadows. What's going to happen here when we get in the shade? Yeah, it's definitely darker. The iPhone was doing some brightening of the shadows for sure, but I mean, you guys can still see me. And look at how smooth that in-phone stabilization is. I think that is probably the most important thing in my mind when I'm filming, is the stabilization. I don't like that jittery screen. It bugs me. I will take a little bit less dynamic range, a little bit of blown out highlights when I step into the sun here, a little less brightening of the shadows when I step into the shade, to have that nice, smooth Samsung stabilization. Yeah, I definitely feel a little bit dirty filming on this phone. Traitor to the Samsung brand. Yeah, so the question is, how does Gary get his hands on an S23 to do some testing to see if it's actually worth the upgrade? Because I think they're, again, another $1,000 or $1,200 phone. And as soon as those words come out of my mouth, I'm like, you don't need to spend any more money. You have a good enough phone. Although I did just offer my S9 to Stan, who doesn't even own a phone. I said, come on, if you want to join the 21st century, I've got a free phone for you. And he didn't reply, so I'm assuming he doesn't want it, which, you know, I think that's maybe the route that I go, is just keep what I freaking have and use what I have. You know, let me know what you guys think. Is the S20 still good enough in 2023? I think I know the answer to that question, but you guys let me know what you think. So Tom just sent me a message on my phone saying that he is camping out tonight. We are at his hot tent, and him and Ty are going to sleep out here tonight. So maybe we'll come back here tonight and we'll have a fire with him. And I filmed another video this morning, which we got some whistling and strange stuff happening back here further in the woods. So maybe I'll come out here and do a bit of an investigation tonight with these guys. I also took a picture with the Apple phone of Tom's tent and then with the Samsung. So we'll compare those and you guys can, you know, let me know. I mean, the iPhone, there's no comparison. It's 48 megapixels where my Samsung is 12. But guys, I think for what we're using it for, which is media purposes online, I think 12 megapixels is still good enough for us. Let me know what you think. You know, so I should have been scoring points here between the Apple and the Samsung. And, you know, I'd like to give Apple a point for being newer, but we're not going to. So we'll just say that's a wash, okay? Newer technology, it's a wash. Even though we can see the Apple screen a little bit better in the sunlight, I think I'm still going to say that's a bit of a wash because this screen it's just a smaller phone than mine. So we'll null that out. And then we'll say that, you know, the images, even though these are 48 megapixel, because I don't need 48 megapixel, we'll kind of wash out that category. So we won't give the Apple any bonus points there either. And, you know, the dynamic range seems to be a little better on the iPhone when we go into the shadows. But I'm not going to give it any points for that either because the Samsung is still good enough. So what we are going to do is we're going to take 100 points away from the Apple because of the stabilization, because it sucks. So in the end, I'm going to decide to stick with my S20 or possibly move on to the S23, and Apple is not going to be part of this equation. I feel much better for having done this test. Do you guys see how pink my face looks there in the sun? I'm going to take another 50 points away from Apple for that. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Another thing we're going to mention is I'm now transferring those files onto my computer off of the wife's iPhone, and oh my God, is it freaking slow. Now, I've just got my daughter's iPhone cable here, and I don't know, is there a specialty cable that I could make this go faster? But literally, it's taking 5 or 6 times longer than my Samsung phone to get files off and put on the computer. I guess I should consider myself lucky that I'm even getting them off this phone because it was kind of a pain in the ass to get it to recognize the iPhone in the first place. My computer is not an Apple, and it was disgusted by the phone that I had plugged into it. It was like, this is Apple virus junk, and we are rejecting this plug-in communication. It now has an STD. It has a virus from the Apple phone. That's what happened.